Hello and welcome back to another video on Respect and another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And tomorrow night is a special Saturday night's main event. So Friday's show was a little work to hype it up. However, this is not as big as a normal pay-per-view. The show also focused quite a bit on Money in the Bank, and that's what we saw in our first match with Charlotte Flair, Julia and Zelina Vega battling out for a place in the match. But after the usual shots of superstars walking in, we saw Damien Priest attacking Drew McIntyre backstage. And when we went to the arena, Tiffany Stratton made her way out to give a promo, but Alexa Bliss interrupted. It didn't take long for Flair to join them. She got a ton of heat from the crowd as soon as she spoke. This is a pretty tame segment that ended with Tiffy leaving as Julia came out for the qualifying match of Flair and Vega, and all three women traded moves for a couple of minutes, but nobody could get a clear upper hand. Each competitor had brief moments of control that never seemed to last more than a minute. It's quick pace, but it felt like there was lack of urgency. Each spot was done quite predictably, so nothing felt spontaneous. It was surprising to see three talented wrestlers have a match like this. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. They lost a few minutes and everyone came close to winning, but Julia scored a big win. I think a big win for her, defeating Charlotte, who was in the match. I think, yeah, big win from her. It's a kind of an average match, but I thought good ending. I'll give it 6 out of 10. The second match of this show featured Chris Sabian taking on Ciampa, but Shelley and Gargano were at ringside. Sabian got the better of Ciampa during their initial exchange, but the former NXT champ tapped into the aggression he was known for to take control. This was a fun back and forth contest between two guys who know each other well. They focused mostly on technical offense and strides, but Sabian used a couple of high-flying moves to add to the excitement. Shelley took a running boot that meant for Sabian during a distraction from Gargano. As Ciampa faked a knee injury, Candice LeRae attacked Sabian from behind, allowing Ciampa to hit the running knee for the win. I thought a really solid match. Obviously lays the foundations for another match with the interference finishing. I don't think anybody against that. So yeah, 6 out of 10 from me. Priest and McIntyre then got into another brawl in the arena after a commercial break, and after that was cleared up, Piper Niven and Albify came out with Chelsea Green by their side to take on Meechin and B-Fab in a tag match that was booked following a brawl backstage. Niven and Fire took control almost immediately, cornered B-Fab for some double team action, and yeah, Meechin got a hot tag and it took both opponents as Chelsea Green tried to provide a distraction. Vegas showed up to take her out. Meechin and B-Fab scored the win with back-to-back finishes on Fire. The match wasn't very long, but it was okay for what it was, I guess. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. We then got Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo taking on Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix. And yeah, Fatu and Mateo were out first. Sikoa was at ringside to watch his team see if they could win. Fatu and Big Jim started for their teams, and Solo kept trying to tell Jimmy he should return to the family. Mateo tagged himself before contact was made and had a stare down with Fatu. Uso tried to take advantage, but was quickly grounded by JC. Fenix and Uso worked together to take out both guys with a high-flying corkscrew. A lot of time was spent making sure we know Mateo and Fatu don't get along. This is the main story of the match, so the outcome felt secondary. It was a decent bout, with some good stunts pulled off, and Mateo ended up hitting his finisher on Uso for the win, which seemed to shock Sikoa. I think an intriguing story building there and made Mateo look good. So yeah, 6 out of 10. R-Truth then came out to give a promo about chasing Cena on Saturday. He said the man he's fighting is not the same man he idolised. The crowd gave some what chance, but Truth did a good decent job controlling it. It's the most mic time Truth's got in years ahead of his upcoming match with Cena, and yeah, I think it'll be a fun match nonetheless. We then got LA Knight versus Aleister Black versus Nakamura in a Money in the Bank qualifier, and yeah, at first Black and Knight formed a brief alliance to take out Nakamura, leaving them to focus on each other in the ring for a while. Nobody seemed to have a clear advantage over anyone else, so it's pretty hard to tell who was going to win until the end, which made it more engaging. With Black and Nakamura both incorporating martial arts into their style, Knight almost felt like the odd man out in this match, but they felt they all did a good job working to make this fun. Knight was able to toss Black out of the ring after he hit Nakamura with his finisher to get the win and move on to Money in the Bank. I thought Black could get it here, but I think Knight's also fully deserving of the opportunity. It's a decent match, and yeah, excited to see him in the match, so yeah, 6 out of 10. This week's main event saw Fraxium defend their titles against the Street Profits, and the match started with about 20 minutes left in the show, so they had plenty of time to make sure this was entertaining as their previous encounter. Dawkins pushed Axiom to the mat to establish his strength during their initial lockup as Ford taunted him from the apron. This quickly turned up the intensity and made this just as competitive as their last match. Dawkins played a great base for the high flyers, while Ford was able to keep up with Fraxion's speed and agility at every turn. Both teams came close to winning with their finishes, but after a few close calls, DIY and LeRae ran to the ring. The Motor City Machine Guns came out to fight them at ringside, and Ford took out all four men with a huge dive. As Ford prepared for his frog splash, the lights went out. When they came back on, the Wyatt Six were in the ring. They took out everyone to end the contest, even with a dirty ending. This is a lot of fun to end the show, and yeah, great to see the Wyatt Six back as well. I think really adds another dimension to what is already a very hot tag division at the moment. So yeah, this is really good stuff and gets an 8 out of 10 from me. overall, SmackDown this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought, probably except for the really strong main event aside, it was probably quite an average episode of SmackDown. Didn't really get any massive stars on the show, really. But, there were some intriguing storylines on there. The tag division, like I say, is obviously very hot. Intrigued by the whole bloodline stuff. So, yeah, lots of stuff on here to keep us interested. On the whole, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.